Hi guys, my name is Keely Anderson. I hope everybody is doing well today on this lovely Thursday. I am excited to be doing a little bit of a video lesson series with you guys over this period of time when we're all at home. I'm going to be giving you guys exercises to do, and I think those assignments are for marks, so Anna will be in touch with you about that. So this past year I've been working a lot in the film industry. I've been doing hair, running the department, and I think this past year I've done 9 movies in total. This past year prior, 2020, I've done 2 films. So it's been quite busy and super fun. I've learned a lot and I have a lot to teach you. My videos will probably be a little bit more hair focused, but obviously will involve makeup as well. As a makeup artist getting into the film industry, you do often come on as what we call a swing. So that position requires you to do both hair and makeup. So really try to embrace this time to kind of get good at hair and learn to not be afraid of it. And hopefully my lessons will help you do that. So this lesson is a pre-taped one. It is how to do beach waves. So it will involve just kind of a bit of a curl set and just how to get some nice, soft, beachy hair. We'll do that, and then I think I'm going to do a do-it-yourself activity. I'll show you that, and then we'll talk about makeup. So yeah, next week I will be back live. So it will start, I think, next Thursday at 10. So it'll be a little bit more of a discussion, and I look forward to hearing what you have to say. I'll be here throughout the video, so if you have any questions, please ask away, and I would love to answer them. All right, guys, enjoy. Hi, everyone. My name is Keely Anderson. I am going to be doing a little teaching online for all of you at home during this crazy time. I've been doing the last year working in film, doing hair and makeup as well. I am delighted to be here today to teach you guys some looks, and I'll be working with you over the next little while, showing you new ways of doing things and just giving you some stuff to work on while you're at home. So today we're going to start with a beachy sort of look. We're going to do beach waves. I will show you on our lovely Molly here. She's going to work with me. And we're going to also create a do-it-yourself sea salt spray. And we'll do that a little later on in the show, and then I'll teach you how to use it. And that's about it. So we'll kind of get started. So the first thing that we're going to do with our doll here is kind of get her hair prepped. So we'll take out her top section here and we'll clip it back. And then with the remaining sections at the back here, we'll kind of divide into, I guess with her 2. Depends on how much hair the doll has or the person has. We're going to start with, I use a lot of Joico products. This one is a thermal spray. It's really nice. It protects from heat. We all need to be watching our hair from the hot tools that we use. So we're just going to give a little spray, put it under, over to the top, and then just really work it through. You always want to put stuff in the hair prior to styling, just so that you have kind of some texture and some hold. So I'm going to put some more up in the second layer here, and I'll work that through as well. And then I'll take the remaining section, divide that into 2. It's always easier to style on second day hair. That's because it's a little dirtier. Fresh hair is always a little harder. It's slippery, harder to work through. work that in, and then the last section here. I did brush through her hair prior to taping, so it's always good to use a wide tooth comb first before you begin any kind of styling. Let's work that in. And now her hair is going to be protected from the heat. Okay, so we're going to take that section back and put it in, and now we're going to work in some hairspray. So first was the thermal protector, and then the second one we'll add in is a hairspray. I use the Joico finishing spray. Actually, I'm going to use the shaping spray first. I will use the finishing spray at the end for the hold. This is just going to give it some texture again and some grit to shape and be able to work in and hold the curls. Again, really important to work it through, spraying underneath and on top, just so that the style will hold really well. Okay, top section again. I'm just gonna spray around on the top. Work it through. And then she's ready now for her style. So to create beach waves, we are gonna do a curl. I use just an inch barrel. You can use any size you want, it just depends on the style of wave that you want to get at the end. The bigger the curling iron, probably the size, the wave will obviously just be looser. I prefer this style. I kind of pull out some of the curl anyway, and then when we're adding in our texture spray at the end, it'll kind of break up the curl so it won't look as tight. So again, I'm going to do the top section, sort of the crown area. I'll pull that back, clip it, and then again, take this back, clip it as well. And then you're sort of working with just about just one layer. Again, if the head is larger or a human head, usually there's more hair, so I would do about 3 different layers. Okay, so using my tail comb, I will take each section here and then just do I curl away from the face, and I do that just to open the face up. Somebody that has maybe a larger, fuller face would want the curls rolled in. I do kind of switch it up just to keep it so that it looks a little bit more natural instead of it all going in one direction. So I try to do it out and then in, out, in, all the way around. Again, you'll note I don't really tuck in my ends here. They're the driest, obviously. They're the oldest part of the hair. So it's good to, when you're doing your curl, take it and just start at the top, taking it in. Just hold it there. And at the very end, when you're kind of pulling it out, you can add in that end part. The curls are holding nicely. Now, if I didn't use the hairspray or the heat protector, it wouldn't hold as nice. So really important, again, to make sure that you use the products to set and prep the hair. All right, so I'm just going to keep kind of going around and get her done. Okay, now when you get to the top section, you do want to make sure that you have the hair, your client is happy with how the hair falls in the front. They're happy with the part. And then the way you want to make sure you're curling it is the way it's gonna, this is the most, I guess, important curling layer so that everything sort of works together. So Molly likes her part here, so she's happy with the way all the hair falls. So then I'm going to sort of kind of dig in the back, sort of the back crown area, and I'm going to take that and just sort of separate it. Now I do have a little bit of hair still to curl, so I just might add a few more curls in there. And then I'm going to do some teasing in the back. So just quickly, just going to finish off curling a little bit more. You don't want any straight bits, so don't leave anything behind. Okay, just one more here, and we're good. Okay, so now I'm going to get this section here, and we do want a little bit of volume. So I'm going to sort of divide it into two. Take one part here. Again, just use my fingers or use your comb. And what you really want to make sure you're doing is overextending. So you don't want to tease here. You want to make sure that the tips are over at the facing away, well away from you. This is going to make sure that when you're teasing in, that you're going to get the lift. So you're changing the root direction. And you're gently just putting the tease down. It's not meant to be scary. It's not meant to hurt anybody. Again, a little bit of hairspray goes a long way. And I like to do the teasing at this time so then the curls that I put in can complement the underneath layer. Anything that looks a little bit uneven in shape, just add a little bit more. Then that way you can sort of see how it's going to work out. You don't want to do it so that it's a crazy 60s sort of look, but you do want to fill in. A lot of people have the cowlicks that separate up in this area, so teasing really can help sort out the layers. Again, just a gentle tease, and then you can sort of work it together, and then you can put more curls in. Again, overextending. Do a little hairspray. And then just work it out around. Okay. So then we're going to start at the front here, and then we'll add more curls in. I'm going to do a little bit more hairspray in this front area. It gets touched a lot more. Oops. People play with their hair, tuck it behind their ears. So this will make sure that there's a little bit more longevity in the curl. When I work on set and do hair, I probably have to put the curls in probably 3 times a day just to keep the continuity working. We have a lot of humidity here in Vancouver, so kind of work against hair. Good for our skin, not so good for hairstyling. And see, so I'm kind of making sure that the curls sort of work, because I will be separating a little bit later on, especially when we start to put in our sea salt spray. And this really allows you to have the big picture on how the hair kind of falls, and so that it all falls together. Try to curl a little bit more from the back here. Okay, and I'm just going to keep going around. You could put more hairspray in this part as well if you wanted to, sort of optional. A lot of my clients and actors that I work with do not like a lot of product in their hair. So it's a double-edged sword with the producers who want the hair not to move, and the actors that want the movement and don't want the product. In a situation like that, you really have to do a lot of hands-on. You're always in resetting the hair so that it looks good for the executive producers when they're watching, and that they want to keep the actors happy. Ultimately, the actors are the ones that you want to keep happy, because you want them to work well and finish the day. So usually the executive producers are, they understand. So it just requires, your day is a little bit harder. Okay, put the last one in. I forgot to hairspray these ones. You should. And then just kind of go around and see any areas that you didn't quite get any curl in. Usually, you want to finish a style in about a half an hour. That's kind of generally what we aim for. Again, though, it really depends on the amount of hair. Some people have a lot of hair. So in order to keep it consistent and you need 45, you have to take that 45. Okay. So now you just want to make sure that everything is kind of lying nice and in a good kind of fashion. Just got a good shape. You can work out some of the tees if it's not exactly what you want, or it's a little bit too high. All right. So then what I usually do is leave it like this. I might put a little bit more of the shaping spray, so nothing with a strong hold, like a medium hold, and just kind of put it in, kind of lifting a little bit just so that the curl, you're not pulling out the curl. We'll do that later. Oh, just found a little bit here. And then if this was an actor, I would send her to makeup, and then she would come back in my chair for part 2. So we'll go send Molly to makeup, and then we'll come back in a little bit. I'm gonna teach you now how to make your own sea salt spray. We are back here, just had a little set change, and we are going to make our do-it-yourself sea salt spray. I love doing do-it-yourself concoctions just because I know what's in them. There's a lot of things out there on the shelves that you're not really sure if they're safe or what is actually in them. This is all natural. So for this recipe, we need, you need some coconut oil. Organic is best, obviously. You do need to melt your coconut oil just so that it is, it can work in with the water. You need about a cup of warm water, even boiling water, just to make it mix. You will need a tablespoon of sea salt, so a good tablespoon of sea salt. And then you will want an essential oil in there. I chose 2 to 3 drops of lavender. You can use lavender if you like. You can use peppermint. That might be nice and uplifting. Your choice on that, and you can have fun with that. You can even mix some of them as well. Combine them all and just give it a good shake. When I made mine, it didn't all fit in this, so I have a little leftover for another time. You do want to make sure you keep this in a nice warm area in your home, just because the coconut oil will sort of harden again if it's left in a cold spot. In the summer, we won't have to worry about that, but for now, we do have to worry about the elements a bit. So that's our sea salt spray. I think everybody should have these ingredients kicking around their home, and yeah, it'll be for our next part with our molly. So we will go forward and apply this, and I'll show you how. All right. So now that we've made our amazing sea salt spray, we are going to apply it to Molly. And we're going to create more beach waves. So right now we have a look, and she's just got her hair curled. It looks nice. We could work our fingers through it, loosen it up a little bit. And that would look nice as well. The sea salt spray is going to just give a little bit more of that beachy, textured look that everyone really kind of loves these days. Doesn't look like we've put effort in when we really have, but no one needs to know. All right, so we're going to just kind of finger through part of the hair, break up some of the curls, just so that they're not so perfect and together. So I'm just sort of kind of taking it, moving it through all the way around her. See these gaps here, just kind of pull through here a bit, kind of making sure that it looks more natural than not. All right. I'm going to have her turn towards me. And then I'm going to take her hair, just kind of take the top sort of layer, and we'll just flip that back for now. And then we're going to work on our under layer. Loosen that up, separate the curls. My curling iron is still hot, so be careful. Hot curling irons. Okay, so now we're going to take our sea salt spray, give it a good shake. And then you're going to spray it in, and you don't want to use any like combs or brushes, because that's just going to cause it to frizz. So we don't want that to happen. So you're going to kind of take the hair up and just sort of spray it, but work it in with your hands, not with any tools. And you're going to sort of keep going with that. And you can see it sort of breaking up the curl. It's looking a little more messy and kind of tousled, which is what we're sort of going for. Again, crunching more than, you don't want to frizz it out. So really important. The salt does the trick. So just work it in, and then work it all the way around. So now I'm kind of more at the back. And this is kind of a look that's sort of more of a day look, a beachy look. I would wear it at night. I like the look. So we're going to talk a little bit too about the makeup that will go with this look. And that is your project for the week, is just recreate this look. Now I don't mind, I'll be marking your work, so I don't mind if you do it on the doll or do it on yourself. If you have a roommate, maybe, they might want to get their hair done. Won't be able to go out and flaunt it, but that's okay. So we're just going to keep working it up. Again, the salt really does work, and then the coconut oil again will give it that shine. So it started getting that beachy look going, and that again is our underneath part. Pop off the top layer, again let it fall, again comb through those curls. Put that salt spray in and be generous with it. That's another thing about do-it-yourself products, is you can use them and use them. Easy to make. Sea salt. How much more sea salt do we have in here? A lot. So you don't have to be frugal. One of those people that'll buy something a little expensive and then never use it. Okay, so we're working that in, and now it's sort of looking a little more beachy, a little more fresh. Well, not really fresh, but it's got lots more texture to it. And you can just play around and add as much as you want. Again, we're just wanting that beachy, natural look. And I think we're getting it, slowly but surely. You just want to make sure, like some of the curls, you might have to separate a little bit more. Just really pull them out. Sometimes when I'm curling the hair as well, you can take a little piece, do your curl, and then just pull it a bit, just so that it doesn't get that shape. Do a little more around the front area. And then you're good. So, she's pretty much done, the hairstyle. So we've got her here. And you can just sort of look and see how the curls have broken up nicely. It's a little more beachy, fabulous, and still getting hydrated because of the coconut oil in that product. So that's great. You can always, if you are at home and you want to have a little more fun with it, you can do a little half up, half down, just by kind of doing something sort of messy, right? Because we're doing a look that is messy and a little bit unkept, so to speak. And you could just put a little elastic in the back. I don't have one with me, but if we did, you could just put an elastic in the back here and secure it, and then just kind of texture off the top parts just to make it not so perfect, because we don't want perfect in this situation. Okay, so now moving forward, let's talk about the makeup that we are gonna do for our beachy look. Obviously, we're gonna do a sun-kissed look. So that kind of goes well with our hairstyle. Now at the part of our little show here to talk to you about the makeup that's gonna go with our beach wave look. Of course, we want a sun-kissed makeup, as I was talking about earlier. I wanna show you an example of a sun-kissed makeup that we're kind of gonna sort of stylize on. So we want our look to be sort of, keep it kind of fresh. We want dewy skin, we want it bronzy, we want it warm, we want like peaches, apricots, light warm pinks. So So kind of think of that sort of look. And this is a good kind of representation of it. We've got a lot of warmth in her look. She's definitely dewy, so we don't want to use any powders or anything that's going to mattify anything. Her brows are groomed, but they're fresh, and she's got these beautiful freckles. These freckles are not real. I've seen this model before, and I know that they are added in this makeup, and I want you guys to try the same thing. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But let's sort of go step through step by just how you're going to go about using or applying this application. So of course we want the base to be, we just want to have a light base. The more youthful the skin is, you don't want to cover that up. You just want to even out the skin tone basically. So if you are inclined, you could go one shade darker, just making sure you bring it down on the neck. Just depends what you're doing this for. If the skin is quite light, it might be nice to just add a little bit of, just a bit of more warmth and darkness to it. But just be consistent and apply down to the neck. If the chest is going to be exposed, obviously you're going to work it down that way as well. Yeah, for the base, just make sure you're correcting as well. You want to correct under eye area. You do want to correct any blemishes that are, just not maybe distracting. I always ask too if there are things on a person's face that kind of go with them. Some makeup artists will tend to just automatically cover it up. Be careful, because that might be a part of them and they might want that. Maybe we think it's a blemish or an imperfection, they might like it. So really talk about that with your clients as well. So for the setting powder, again, once you put your foundation on, and you could use a tinted moisturizer, whatever you think, you don't want to set it with powder. So don't keep it. If you want to set any area, maybe put a little powder under the concealer. If you corrected the eyes, that would probably help. Brows, we want to make them, just keep them natural. Comb them through, groom them. Don't forget about them because they are a very important part of any makeup application. Just use light feathered strokes, powders, pencils. Do whatever you like. You're just kind of filling it in and softly shaping. Don't go too dramatic with them. I think we're really cutting out of that now. The trend is slowly sliding away, so definitely groom them. We still like them full, but just don't overdo it for this look. We want to keep the eyes simple. So we don't want too much going on. Think again, this is a beachy look. We're not gonna pack on eyeliner, pack on mascara. It's just gonna fight the look overall. You want to make sure you curl the lashes, add a bit of mascara, do a couple layers if you like, just don't make it too clumpy. You can do a little bit of eyeliner on the bottom and the top, just for a little bit of definition. Again, it really depends. If a person's already got naturally dark lashes, don't bother because they've already got that nice line. But if somebody who's a lighter, fairer person, it'd be nice to put a little bit of shape around or definition around the eye itself. Then you want to, you could add like a little wash of like a shimmery, maybe like a taupey gold color, just to give it a little bit of, just shimmer and life and freshness. Then you want to move on to the apples of the cheeks. We want a nice, appley, like just fresh application of blush. We're not doing contour for this look. Later, just in a couple minutes, we'll talk about how to amp it up for an evening look. But for this light, fresh, youthful kind of look, just do the apples. Nice apricot-y, peachy, peachy pinky, even having a little bit of gold in there for shimmer, that's fine. You don't want to do any bronzer at this point, just because sometimes putting bronzer can almost bring out imperfections and unevenness in skin, so really make sure you're careful with your bronzers. You could, in place of a blusher, you could use a bronzer for that, but then again, watch, bronzers have shimmers, Shimmers show texture, so just be careful when you're applying any of those bronzers. Tinted balm for your lip is always just nice, keeps it fresh. We do like a balm versus a gloss because a balm looks more natural and it's not as shiny and distracting. You can make your own, just use a little bit of balm and a little bit of lipstick, mix it together, and you can just kind of just almost use your finger and just dab it on. You don't need to line the lips in this kind of case as well. So that will kind of complete our look for a fresh day sun-kissed look. Now in the real world, or even if you want to and have time at home, you can add on to this look and just amping it up to evening. This is when you would add a contour. Contour's fine for a beachy look in the evening, but in the day it doesn't, it's just too much. You want to define the lash line even more, you can probably smoke it out a bit. You can even darken your eyeshadow and use something that's more like a bronzy gold, just to give it a little bit more definition up against the whites of our eyes. And then you'd probably want to darken the lip and do more of a satin finish and have it a little bit bolder. Not bold, but just a little bit more colorful. And that would complete it for the amp look. You could add some subtle highlights as well for evening. Shimmers are a little bit softer in evening light, so it might be a nice touch to your sun-kissed look as well. All right, you guys, I am going to take a few seconds here to talk to you about the freckle application. I prefer to use like just a normal eyeliner pencil, brow pencil, whatever you kind of like. Color choices, obviously the fairer the skin, you'd probably want to do sort of more of a taupe color. Darker the skin, more of a darker chestnut brown. For our lovely Molly, I'm going to use just a medium brown. I've already sharpened this earlier today, so you want to make sure you sharpen it, but you don't want it too sharp of a tip. Otherwise your freckles will look, they won't stand out as much as you need or want them to. So when you're doing this application, you're going to do it quite lightly and randomly. The point of making them too perfect is going to make them look not real. There's also a stamping technique that you can use as well that also works, and I'll show you that. So basically, you want to take your pencil to the skin and you just want to softly twist it. So you kind of push it, twist it, and lift. They're going to be imperfect, and that's exactly what you want. You don't want those ones like we had when we were kids in a Halloween costume. That obviously is not our aim or goal. So you can kind of start sort of around the nose area, sort of what I like to do, and then again, just gently tapping. And then as you kind of do an area, you can sort of lift it and stamp it somewhere else and get a little bit of a remainder of the product, and then it'll just take off the harshness of the first application and add kind of a muted layer underneath, which will give it a little more realism feel. So as you kind of keep going, again, if they're darker or lighter, that's what you want. They're not always going to be the same color. So you just sort of keep shaping them and adding the twisting. Oops, that was a little bit, she's not real skin, so it's a little bit more challenging. And you're just going to make sure that the twisting and lifting is going to make it a lot more real in the way we see it. So just kind of keep going all the way around, stamping is good, moving it. And then you can also sort of powder it at the end if you want to hold in and lock it in, just to prevent smudging in the future for your client. So happy freckling. All right, guys, so that ends the session of our sun-kissed makeup with Beach Waves. Look in your inbox for a message from Anna. She will be sending more information on your assignment and some of the notes.
Am I answering these questions live? I guess.
Yeah.
I will help you, give you something to refer to when you are executing these styles at home. Also, if you have any questions, please email them to Anna, and I will bring them up in our Zoom, which is going to be next Friday, I believe at 10 a.m. And I will look forward to seeing all your faces and getting to know you throughout these interesting times. All right, guys. See you later.
All right, you're on, Keely.
Hi, guys. I hope you enjoyed that demo. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm available right now to answer them. So yeah, if I don't know how many of you are out there, but if you have anything you want to ask, I am available. Next week on Thursday, I'm going to do a live demo, so it'll be much more interactive. So when you have a question, you'll be able to answer right away. I'm going to do all things bridal. It's interesting time of year, usually April, May, June, a very busy time for the wedding industry, and obviously that's been on hold. So I'm going to talk to you about what to do with your brides and how to go about that. I'll also do a roller set and show you a few updos, and then we'll talk about some 2020 bridal trends and get you sort of inspired for the fall season. And we'll talk maybe a little bit about pricing as well, just to give you something to, start. It's a perfect time with all the time you have to set up a splash page, or, just start promoting yourself, doing makeups on yourself, just kind of, themed brides. You can do a sun-kissed bride if you want. And yeah, so I look forward to that as well. Tomorrow we will be doing a Zoom, and that will start at 10 a.m. So I'll be available also for things that you might not think to ask now, but you can ask tomorrow. So yeah. So I don't think we have any questions coming in.
There is a little bit of a delay, so.
Oh, okay. Highlights. It's okay for this makeup look. Absolutely. Yes, highlights is great. It's kind of the dewy sort of look to it. So I would, definitely highlights is lovely. Shimmery highlights are great. Just make sure that skin is youthful and in good condition. Sometimes if we add a shimmery highlight on something that is, an older skin, or just maybe a skin that has more imperfections, it does bring out the imperfections. So just watch with your application. Even just putting a little highlight on the nose is nice, or just in the bow of the lip, that's always really pretty as well. Good question. Yeah, you're welcome. All right, you guys. Well, I think that's going to be it for now. I'll be signing off and getting ready to do the Zoom tomorrow, and I'll have some more things to share with you then. All right, you guys. Take care. Have a wonderful Thursday. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.